So this is what my hair looked like before I put in the synthetics. She's all short, but she was cute. Anyways, let's move on.
Hello, welcome back. You've returned to hear more about my locks. I have come today with an update. If you saw my last video on my locks, I went over how I established them, my maintenance routine, etc. I have added extensions. So I'm gonna let you know how I installed them, how I keep up with them, how they're holding up 5 months later. I wanted to add extensions because I was tired of the shape of my hair. I had these bangs that I just got tired of having. And as y'all know, and if you don't know, locks, they take forever to grow out. So I wasn't gonna wait for that. Also, the shape, it made it look like I was the 5th member of Queen. So I had to immediately expeditiously get rid of that. I feel like longer hair just looks better on my head shape. At least at this moment in time. I was tired of that freaking look, okay? I had it for 3 years. Ugh. Let us review what type of hair I used. The black is synthetic hair. It's the Model brand. The blonde is human hair. The way I installed them, I literally just braided it on the last few inches. And when I got to the end of my actual lock, I just twisted it the rest of the way down. When I initially put them in, I did it along with my retie and I was procrastinating. So it took me about a month to finish it all. I paid about $50 for the hair, so it was pretty cheap. I put it in September. It is now mid-February, so I would say it was very worth the 50 bucks I spent. I wanted to keep them in for at least a year, give my hair some good time to grow out. I was scared they were only gonna last a month, but as you can see, they're lasting. Since it's synthetic and the texture of the hair is wavy, it hasn't locked into my hair, so I can take it out whenever I want. Same with the human hair. It is a very different texture, so it's not locking with my lock. I will say, when I was installing it initially, when I got to the ends, I was knotting them. How when you get box braids or twists, sometimes they'll tighten a knot before they dip them. I was doing that, but it was making the ends very frizzy, so I immediately stopped that and I just continued doing the rest of them as I just showed you, just twisting them all the way down. That has kept it from being frizzy and is not coming loose like this, surprisingly. Now let us move on to maintenance. I don't do anything special with them. I take care of my hair just as I did before. I use the same shampoo. I shampoo on the same schedule. When I moisturize my hair, I make sure I moisturize my scalp and just my real locks. When I get down to where the extensions start, I don't moisturize them, especially since the black is synthetic. It doesn't need to be moisturized. If you do it with human hair, probably want to moisturize that too. The shampoo I use, it's the Sulfur 8 shampoo. For my whole lock journey, I've never used conditioner, never deep conditioned. I use vitamin E oil on my scalp and on my locks. I have started using the Sulfur 8 scalp grease type stuff, and that really helps with itching in my personal experience. As far as my reties, I retie like normal. As long as when you install them, where your lock ends, you want to make sure it's as smooth as possible. So try to tuck the end into the braid so it'll be easier for you to so it'd be easy for you to retie it. I do have some locks that have bumps in them where my real lock ends, and those are definitely more difficult to get underneath when it starts to get tighter, when I'm getting towards the end of the interlocking. Over the course of the time that I've had these in, I've had a couple fall out, but the majority of them, they have never fallen out. When I do have one fall out, it's always the black hair. I've maybe had one of the human hair locks fall out once. With that being said, maybe I would recommend, if you do this and you want to keep it in long term, do it with the human hair. Also, as far as tangling, this hair is tangle free, the synthetic hair that I bought, and it has been holding up to that for the most part. I do get tangles at the end sometimes. When I do my reties, I just look for things like this and I clip them off. It does get bumpy, as if they're slightly unraveling. In that case, I'll just take it off and redo it when I'm doing my retie. The human hair, on the other hand, has none of those problems. It has never tangled. They don't tangle with each other. It doesn't even tangle with the synthetic hair. I've never had it knot up or unravel on me. As far as my nighttime routine, I don't really have one. I should buy a bonnet, like a real Nick, but I just put it all in a bun on top of my head. and I go to sleep. So overall, I would say that they are holding up very well. They look almost identical to when I first put them in. As far as the texture, it has gotten just a little bit rougher, just general wear and tear. Maybe the slightest bit of tingling, like it's slightly trying to lock. In my opinion, that's good because that means that it stays in place versus the silky texture when I first put it in. It was kind of difficult to put it in just because it's sliding around. To combat that, I was just using smaller pieces. My locks are so small. Just using a good amount of hair that matched up to the thickness of my lock. That definitely helped. Or maybe even just a little bit thinner so it stays on. As far as styling, of course you can style them like any lock style, any box braid, twist style. I currently have a half up, half down. This is very much my go-to hairstyle. Let's go over the pros. Pro being, it's very affordable. I only spent $50, did it myself. Longevity, if I wanted to keep it in for longer than a year, I could keep it in for longer than a year. People do it with human hair and they keep it in permanently. Also that you can take it out at any time. Of course, the pro with any extension, you can change the shape of your hair like this without having to wait for your hair to grow out. Even color, you can add color without having to dye your hair. At the store I saw ombre, so you could get black to purple, black to whatever, and it'll like seamlessly blend into the color. Of course, if you have your hair dyed like me, you can get extensions that match the color of your dyed hair. This is as close as I could find in my beauty supply store. Some of the cons would be, probably the only cons would be if you use synthetic hair. The fact that it does degrade as far as tangling and frizziness, and the fact that you have to clip the ends because they freaking tangle into knots with it falling out and things. I would definitely recommend just getting the human hair if you plan on keeping it in for longer than 3 months. If you do plan on keeping this in long term and doing your reties with it in, I would recommend doing it like I did. Install the extension towards the end of your lock so you can still retie your hair at the root without the extension getting tangled up in it. But this is probably one of the best hair decisions I've ever made, besides the initial decision to lock my hair in the first place. It's really good for a switch up, and I feel like it just looks better on me in general. I also have a short on my actual installation process, so check that out after this video. But don't go yet, I have a special guest. We have a new member of the microloc community. What made you want to lock your hair?
A girl on Twitter.
About how many locks do you have?
200 something.
200 something. And I have about 270 something. How often do you do your reties?
Every 5 to 6 weeks.
What do you use to moisturize?
Miel, leave-in, coconut, pomegranate and hibiscus leave-in conditioner, and you put in water and you spray it.
We just dyed her hair 2 days ago. We used the Manic Panic brand. Highly recommend. Has your hair texture changed since getting it dyed?
I don't think so.
So it's intact even after bleaching and dyeing. And I noticed that my locks also after bleaching, they stay intact even though I bleached them platinum. They stay intact. Do you like having locks? Do you ever miss your afro?
Yes.
No!
I was just thinking about it like last night. I was like, man, all my volume is gone. But it's too much work, so I'd rather not.
Her volume is still here.
It's not. My hair used to be like out here. Bakugo shirt. Get on that.
Any final thoughts? Do you love them? She loves her locks.
I wish they had more volume. This doesn't count because I did a twist out. I want them to be smaller.
She had them microscopic.
And it was too much work, so I combined them. And then I looked in the mirror, my hair was flat, like it was really flat. So I uncombined them because I'm magical. I still regret it. Some of them didn't come apart.
Yeah, so she loves being part of the microloc community.
I never said that.
Leave her a comment. Tell her locks look great.
We're gonna start a gaming channel. We finally made the channel. What's the channel called?
It's not together yet. Stay tuned.
It's got 2 subscribers. It's me and her.
Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
She's trying to kick y'all out.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Wish I had a drink.
We gotta end on that.